Have you ever felt like someone was drawn to you? Not for who you are, but for the idea of you. They look at you like you're something rare, almost unreal. They adore the way you smile, the way you talk, the way you make them feel. But deep down you sense something strange. They're in love, not with you, but with the version of you they've built inside their mind. It feels powerful at first, being someone's dream. But here's the truth most people don't realize. When someone falls for the fantasy, they're not truly seeing you. They're seeing what they want to see. And when reality shows up, it breaks the spell. In this video, we'll uncover 7 subtle signs that you're the fantasy they don't want to wake up from. These are signs most people miss. Small emotional clues, hidden patterns in their behavior that reveal whether their love is real or just a dream they're desperately trying to hold on to. By the end, you'll understand how to tell the difference between genuine connection and illusion, and how to protect your energy from people who fall for the idea of you instead of the truth of you. So stay till the end, because once you learn these signs, you'll never look at certain relationships the same way again. Welcome to Psychology Zone, where we uncover the hidden truths of the human mind and heart. If you're passionate about self-awareness and real connection, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the insights that could change the way you see people forever. Sign 1. They idolize you too quickly. Before we dive into the deeper signs, let's talk about the first one. And it's one that often feels flattering at first glance. Have you ever met someone who, within days or weeks, starts treating you like you're the most perfect person they've ever known? They say things like, "You're not like anyone else," or "I've never met someone like you before." It sounds romantic, almost cinematic, but that kind of instant admiration usually says more about their fantasy than about you. People lost in illusion tend to fall in love with an idea, not the individual. They build a version of you in their mind, flawless, exciting, and exactly what they've been searching for. But here's the catch. They don't actually know you yet. They're in love with the image they've created. They skip the slow process of discovery, the part where real connection grows. Instead, they rush into deep emotions, skipping over the details that make you human. When someone idealizes you too quickly, it's like they've pressed fast forward on the story before reading the first chapter. This kind of admiration feels intense, but it's built on projection, and projections always crack the moment reality shows up. Sign 2, they avoid knowing the real you. Before we move into the next sign, let's pause and think about something many people overlook in relationships. Have you ever noticed how some people seem deeply interested in you, yet somehow they never really know you? They listen, they smile, they compliment you, but when it comes to the real details of your life, they draw a blank. They don't ask deeper questions. They don't remember what you told them last week. It's like they love the idea of being close to you more than actually getting to know who you are. These are the people who admire your surface, the way you talk, the way you make them feel, but not your story, your struggles or your truth. They build their affection around what they see, not what they've learned. And when you try to open up to share something raw or real, you might feel them pull back, not out of disinterest, but because it doesn't fit the picture in their head. Their attraction thrives on mystery. They prefer the fantasy version of you, simple, perfect, easy to adore. But true connection takes curiosity, not assumption. When someone avoids knowing the real you, they're choosing comfort over depth and illusion over understanding. Sign 3, they get uncomfortable when you show flaws. Before we get any further, let's talk about a moment that quietly reveals what kind of connection you're really in. Have you ever noticed how some people seem perfectly at ease when everything about you looks bright and effortless, but the second you show a crack, their energy changes? Maybe you opened up about a bad day, a mistake, or something that made you insecure. And instead of understanding, you felt them withdraw. Their tone shifts, their warmth fades, and suddenly, the person who couldn't stop admiring you seems distant. That's because fantasy thrives on perfection, and perfection leaves no room for reality. They fell for the polished version of you, the one that fits their dream. But when your real emotions appear, it reminds them that you're human, and that doesn't fit the story they've been telling themselves. You might see subtle signs, a sigh, a forced smile, a change of subject, all to steer the moment back to what feels ideal. It's not that they dislike you, they just can't handle the parts that make you real. To them, vulnerability feels like disruption, not connection. Because in their world, love isn't about seeing all of you. It's about keeping the fantasy alive, no matter what it hides. Sign 4. They try to keep the magic alive at all costs. Before we dive deeper, think about those relationships that always seem picture perfect. Almost too perfect to be real. Have you ever been with someone who avoids anything that might break the mood? They change the subject when things get serious, or they smile their way through tension like nothing ever happened. It feels peaceful at first. No fights, no heavy talks, just laughter and good moments. But underneath that calm surface, something important is missing. Honesty. People who live in fantasy fear that reality will ruin the magic. They want the romance to feel cinematic, light, easy, beautiful, as if the story should never face a plot twist. So they skip over uncomfortable conversations and ignore problems, pretending everything is fine. They'd rather protect the feeling than face the truth. This isn't about harmony. It's about control. They're not in love with you. They're in love with the emotion you create in them. And when love becomes about maintaining the high instead of building a bond, it stops being real and starts being performance. Sign 5. They mirror you too much. Before we move forward, let's look at a behavior that can easily be mistaken for deep connection. But often isn't. Have you ever met someone who seems to match your every move? Your opinions, even your little quirks? They laugh at the same things, agree with every idea, and suddenly they're into the same music, books, or hobbies you love. At first, it feels like you found your perfect match, someone who truly gets you. But after a while, you start to notice they don't have many opinions of their own. People who live in fantasy tend to mirror the person they're drawn to. It's not manipulation in the traditional sense. It's a way to stay connected to the version of you they admire. By copying your likes and reflecting your energy, they keep the illusion alive that you're the same. But that sameness is an imitation, not a bond. It's comforting to be agreed with, yet real love allows differences. When someone mirrors you too much, it's often because they're afraid that showing their true self might break the spell. So instead of building a real connection, they build a reflection and hope you'll fall in love with it. Sign 6. They struggle when things get real. Before we get into this next part, think about how people behave when life stops being picture perfect. Have you ever noticed how some relationships feel amazing when everything's smooth? But the moment things get messy, something shifts. When stress appears, or distance grows, or you simply have a hard day, they seem lost, uncomfortable, maybe even distant. It's not that they don't care. It's that they don't know how to handle real life. They've been living in the glow of the fantasy, and reality feels too heavy for them to carry. You might see them withdraw when you're upset or frustrated. Instead of offering comfort, they might blame the tension on you, saying things like, "You've changed," or "It's not the same anymore." But what really changed isn't you. It's that the illusion they built around you started to fade. When real emotions enter the room, disappointment, confusion, stress, they panic because those things don't exist in the dream version of love they created. They crave perfection, not presence. So when life tests the connection, they don't grow closer. They retreat into the safety of what once felt magical. That's when you realize the truth. It wasn't you breaking the bond. It was reality breaking the fantasy. Sign 7. They hold onto the idea of you even when you're gone. Before we explore this last sign, think about how memory can sometimes become more powerful than the moment itself. Have you ever had someone hold on to you long after things ended? Not in a painful or angry way, but almost like they're protecting a beautiful story. They talk about you like you were a dream, something rare that slipped through their fingers. They might say things like, "I'll never find someone like you again," or "What we had was perfect." At first it sounds sweet, but what they're really holding on to isn't you. It's the idea of you. People who fall for fantasy don't easily let go, because the story they built around you became their emotional escape. They replay the highlights, erase the flaws, and polish the past until it shines brighter than it ever truly was. In their mind, you become a symbol of what love could be, not what it actually was. That story gives them comfort, a safe place to return to when real life feels too ordinary. They might compare every new person to you, never realizing they're comparing reality to a dream. Even years later, they speak your name with nostalgia, not because they still know you, but because they miss the version of you that existed in their imagination. It's a quiet kind of attachment, one that feeds on memory instead of truth. And while it may sound romantic, it's really just another way of clinging to a fantasy that was never meant to last. Because for them, letting go of you would mean letting go of the illusion that love can stay perfect forever. Being someone's fantasy can feel flattering. It makes you feel special, admired, even unforgettable. But as beautiful as it seems, fantasy isn't the same as love. Because real love isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It's about being seen in your best and your worst, and still being chosen. The right person won't need to imagine you as something more. They'll see your light and your shadows, your calm and your chaos, and love you for all of it. That's what makes a bond real. So, if this video opened your eyes, take a moment to reflect on what kind of love you truly want. The fantasy that fades when reality arrives, or the connection that deepens when life gets real. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your experiences and insights. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Psychology Zone, where we uncover the truth behind human behavior and the hidden patterns of the heart. Your awareness is your power, and it always starts with seeing things as they truly are.